The debate on the new Education Act has once again revealed the polarization of the Congress. The right wing shouted freedom, while the left wing celebrated the act. The Spanish right wing, after collecting signatures, denounced that the new law attacks the Spanish language by eliminating it as a vehicular language. They also criticized the restrictions on semi-private education and the lack of public funding for schools that segregate the students depending on their sex.
It limits the parents' right to choose the kind of education for their children. It attacks the freedom of education and of school choice. So give them education in their everyday language, in their mother tongue, and don't impose the Catalan, don't impose the linguistic immersion model on them.
From the left wing, they valued the replacement of the Education Act made by Partido Popular, the opposition party, which they described as retrograde and elitist. Furthermore, the government denies the elimination of the Spanish language, and it points out that religion will not disappear from the classroom neither, but that it will simply not be a subject that can be evaluated and graded.
The educational authorities shall guarantee the right to the students to be educated in Spanish and in the other co-official languages in their respective territories. It is neither language nor the religion. The serious problems are inequality, school failure, lack of funding or segregation.
Associations for the defense of education consider that the legislation restores the public value that education should have. They point out that the existence of subsidized schools only makes sense when there are not enough public schools vacancies, which this law attempts to solve, and therefore they demand that state funds finance almost exclusively public education.
What it states is that the autonomous communities have to provide sufficient public school vacancies in all institutions, in the schools, in the childhood education. That is to say, a shortage of vacancies does not have to exist.
These associations denounce that the Act fails in having a maximum number of students per teacher.
We ask the proportion to be at least 20 in secondary school, 25 in high school and 50-20 in primary school.
The government has committed to provide funds to enforce this law in the coming years to reach 5% of the gross domestic product, though social organizations are demanding an investment of at least 7%.